Okay, anti-guru method. This is the method that has allowed me to make millions of dollars as an online coach, solving real problems for real people, okay? What are gurus? Gurus are these larger-than-life, obviously scammy, fraudulent individuals that make massive claims, can't back any of them, okay, and rely essentially on low IQ individuals to buy their courses. That's what a guru is. And unfortunately, these individuals have left an SHIT stain on the industry, okay? And if you want to make a bunch of money as a coach, but you want to do it while having a ton of fun and solving real problems for people and adding real value to people's lives, and say you're a step ahead of somebody, and you can walk them up that step and charge them for it. You don't have to be the be all end all expert. You just have to be a step ahead of somebody and solve that problem for them. That's what I want to talk about in this video. Because I've now helped, 30 people, 35 people get to at least $100,000 a month in sales for their coaching programs and products in niches like real estate coaching, sales coaching, personal development coaching. One lady helps people publish books. That's what she does. Anxiety recovery coaching. One of my clients helps people get software jobs in the software space, and essentially any niche. And we all use what I call the anti-guru method. And I'm really excited for this video because, if you really listen up and pay attention here, I think this genuinely will help a lot of people not be so afraid of becoming a coach because of what these gurus have done, okay? And I'm not going to name any names because, quite frankly, I just feel like I'm above that. I don't feel like that's something that I want to do. But we all kind of know who I'm talking about, It's these individuals where it just feels like all that they spew is just constant. They can never say like a true word, and you can just tell, you can just read it on them. They just feel fake through and through. And they rely on, quite frankly, very desperate people to, invest into their stuff. So how do you build a legitimate coaching practice? Because let's be real, it is like an 80-90% profit margin business. You can keep so much margin. And you can even be a little fish. Like, I'm a very, very little fish. I don't get a lot of views on my channel at the moment. And yet, my business does anywhere from, on a slow month, $60,000, $70,000 profit take home, to on a month where everything's humming. My top month's about $380,000. And that was at about a 70% profit margin. And I just launched another business completely separate from my channel. It's a totally separate business. I don't associate with this channel at all for the sake of keeping it kind of pure so I can, teach it to you guys and talk to you guys about what we're doing. But we just crossed 50 members in a $4,800 offer. And we've only processed 2 refunds of 50 members. So 2 people wanted their money back for $4,800, and they're getting great results, and it's a great program and product. And that's pure Facebook advertising. Actually, we show the ads on Instagram. So it has nothing to do with my brand, completely new people. And that's about I keep about half of that as profit. But anyway, enough about me. I'm just saying that just to give myself some credibility as I talk about this concept because, I just think it's so important for our industry. So I'm going to erase this. I'm going to draw out some thoughts, and we're going to get into this video. And I'm going to talk about how to make, a lot of money, have a lot of fun by being a legitimate, real coach that can really help people. And I'm going to talk about how to do that today in this video. Okay, so it's going to be a really, really good video. So, the core of the problem is that these coaches or these course sellers aren't necessarily solving real problems for people. They're just giving information. And so what I want to talk about is a couple things that'll help you add real value to people and make just as much money as these big figures do, but in ways that really sustain and stand the test of time. And actually build your reputation instead of destroying it over time, and get people coming back for more from you. I have clients in my roster worth 6 figures in cash for my business because over and over again I've added value season after season and helped them continue to grow their business. Okay, so first, what I want to talk about is something called the belief ladder. Okay, and this is basically how to ethically turn a stranger into a customer. okay, without using any pressure, without using any hype, and without making any promises you can't keep, or without claiming to be something that you're not, okay? And this simple concept alone is going to be worth the entire length of the video, because it's going to give you the insider, look into how guys like myself, individuals who run stand-up ethical businesses. Obviously, I'm patting my own back there, but my historical refund rate, my dispute rate, my upset customer rate is amazing. I had one program that I ran for about 4 years, and I signed almost 600 $5,000 clients. And I only had a handful of people the entire time that weren't happy. A small handful. And from that business, we created, many different 6- and 7-figure earners. And so I want to talk about how to take somebody from a confused prospect who's just curious to a buyer. Again, without any promises that you can't keep, without any hype, and without any weird and unethical sales practices. This alone is going to be great. The next thing that I want to do is I want to take some time with you today, and I want to actually talk about what it means to add value, not just from a philosophical standpoint, but from a very real perspective. What exactly is value, and how do we add value? Because money, all it is, when you boil it down to its root, its pure substance is just a mutually agreed upon exchange of value. Before money, we had to trade goats and stuff, right? And so money is this, trade lubricant. It allows us to trade with anybody, okay? But the thing that we trade it for is value. So how do you actually make coaching programs that add real value, okay? And I'll talk about what value is, okay? And this isn't just my opinion, by the way. This is, tens of thousands of sales calls that have helped my clients generate. Probably at least 6,000 or 7,000 for my own organizations, my own businesses. Okay, and then thousands of clients, all in various different niches online, selling coaching and consulting programs, whether it's a business consulting program or a coaching program for an individual, a person, like a life thing, like relationships or whatever. Doesn't matter, it's the same thing, okay? Next, I'm going to talk about the stages that you're going to want to go through if you want to build a highly scalable, highly impactful program. Okay, how to go from one-to-one and take what you've gathered from your one-on-one relationships, synthesize it, and move to a group setting, and then take that group setting and move it to a course. And how to actually create something that at every stage adds scale, but continues to maintain value. Okay, and actually creates a valuable transaction. And how you know, and this is getting into the weeds here, I'm going to go over what the rest of what I'm going to cover in the video is, but how you know that you're doing something that's good is people come back for more. Okay, and season after season, the reason why I've survived is because I'm doing this. Okay, so it doesn't matter how many customers you acquire, if you don't add more value than they've paid you for, and you don't create retention, then you're ultimately going to lose the long game, okay? The next thing I'm going to talk about is this framework that I have in my head that has allowed me to make all this money. Up here you can see 8 million by 25. I'm currently 25, done about $8 million in sales. This concept of you have 2 bank accounts, okay? You have your reciprocity bank account, which is essentially, it's the reciprocity that you've built with non-buyers. Okay, this is how people feel about your business before they've even bought anything from you. And then you have your actual bank account. And you can make withdrawals from your reciprocity bank account by making offers. Okay, and what's cool about the belief ladder is it actually builds reciprocity at massive speed. Okay, so you can take a stranger from not knowing who you are to introducing them to a new concept, your way of doing things, your strategy. Get them to believe in it and then add value around it. And then get them to feel like they've had a positive interaction with your company within 48 hours. And then they're on a consult with you and then they buy. So in our other company, we run this system, the belief ladder system. And that's how we get people to believe in us before they buy. But anyway, that's a bit of a tangent. So the last thing that I want to talk about is this idea of eating complexity, okay? And what this means is, to the degree that you can pre-solve your client's problems proactively solve them, not reactively solve them, but they've paid you and they don't even realize that you've built this amazing runway for them, okay? You've pre-solved other problems, all the things that they would have on their own, all this complexity, you've solved it and you've synthesized it into a set of simple action items and simple workbooks and to-do items and stuff like that. To the degree that you can eat the complexity that they would have on their own had they not paid you, is the degree to which you will add value and create trust and reciprocity with your clients, okay? And so essentially, this is a whole video about how to ethically sign clients, get them to pay you top dollar. You know, my highest tier program, it's a $36,000 program, and I don't just coach, but I literally design entire businesses with my clients from ground up, one-on-one over the span of a year to get them to a couple $1 million a year in sales. And that's the 35 clients I mentioned at the start. That's what they've done with me, okay? And so, you know, I take on probably a handful of clients a month for that, not that many. But in that, I've eaten the complexity of doing that because I know every single stage. Every single stage, I've got it down to a science, okay? So let's start with the belief ladder concept here, okay? And by the way, if you're interested in working with me, all the information you're going to need is in the description. I'm not going to go super in depth on that in this video because I don't want people to feel like, you know, I'm like ruining the video with like a plug. So if you want any information, it's all in the description regarding what it looks like to get my support. Start with this belief ladder thing, okay? So how do you take somebody from confused to buyer? Or really just curious to buyer? So I want you to understand, there's really three components to your business, fundamentally. There's traffic, leads, and conversions, TLC, okay? So how you get your traffic is a big part of this equation, this belief ladder equation, okay? So a belief ladder, if you can't see it on my whiteboard here because it's maybe relatively small, actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and move the camera in a little bit just to make this a little more readable for you. There we go. That is actually a lot better. I think I'll just leave it there. So hopefully you can see this. It's more like a stair step, but I'm calling it a ladder because it just sounds cool. Because belief staircase doesn't sound as cool. So what you want to do is, even in your content or in your ads, okay, you want to, let's say it's a YouTube channel, okay, in your titles, you look at the titles of all my videos or of my channel here, it's all outcomes. It's all how to do this, how I did this, how to reach this point, okay? And so I'm getting people who have either pains or desires. Pain or desire, okay? So they have a desire for something, or they're in pain because they lack something. One of the two, okay? And what I do is, throughout the consumption of my content, I introduce my way, which is what in marketing is called your mechanism. Okay, so with our other company, we run an ad that says, hey, if you're a Christian man and you make good money, but you lack freedom and you've always wanted to do something online that's legitimate, right? So it's like key group of people, okay, pain and desire. They make money, but they lack freedom, okay? I want you to take this next step and message me a word. So we say message us a word, and then they message us that word on Instagram. And then we get to know them a bit in the DM, and then we link them our video. And our video introduces them to my way. And my way is what we call content connecting, which is how they actually get clients with the system. So we talk about how there's tons of people out there that need clips made, and it's really, frankly, like one of the most valuable things you can do for a business owner, because if you can get them views, it gets them revenue, etc., and everything. And we talk about our head coach, Tom, who makes 20 grand a month with the model and everything. And so we get people in pain or in desires, and then we introduce my way, our way, okay? And then, once they believe in our way, then we add value around our way, okay? So first we gotta get them convinced that our way is better than alternatives. So, for example, if on this channel, you believe that me, because I am kind of the mechanism for this brand. Trey Cockrum is kind of the way. That's at least how it tends to be, at least how people tend to perceive it. Okay, if I can get you to believe that I am a legitimate expert and I can really help you, and I can help you make millions of dollars with your coaching business, or at least 10 or 20 grand a month with your coaching business, then I can add value on my channel and help you have aha moments and have breakthroughs. So what we do, tangibly what we do is they DM us, okay? And then we get to know them, we link them a video. After they book a call with us, okay, we send them some pre-call materials, so some free videos that they can watch. It's like an hour's worth of material, and it's like, here's how to actually go out and sign clients. Here's what it looks like day to day. Here's the math behind success. Here's how to get an editor. Here's all this stuff that you're gonna need. Whether you decide to pay us or not, we wanna add value and help you, okay? And what's so cool about that is just that posture of, look, whether you decide to pay us or not, we wanna give you the tools to go out and do this yourself. So we've gotten people with a pain or desire. They want more money, more freedom. We've introduced my way, we've added value around our way. Then by the time they show up for this call, you know, we actually enroll 50%, which is basically unheard of numbers, to be honest. I mean, if you're a marketing nerd, you know how wicked good 50% of your consultations that show up to the meeting enrolling for a $4,800 offer on cold traffic, meaning people who don't know who you are. I mean, that's ridiculous, okay? And it's just based off of a simple principle of belief ladder. Get people into your sphere who are in pain and who want desires, who have desires. Introduce them to your way. Make a logical case that your way is better than the alternatives. And then add value around that way. Show them how to do it on their own, whether they decide to pay you or not. And then by the time that they're on a call with you, it's like lay down simple sales. And you know, we don't have to use any strategy or any hype or anything. That's the power of the belief ladder, okay? If you want me to make a longer video on belief ladder and go deeper into that, comment the word belief ladder below and I will make a longer video on that concept. So I'm gonna move on now to what actually is value, okay? And how do I think about value being somebody that's generated multi millions of dollars on the internet in my 20s with coaching and consulting programs, which most people think are a scam. And to be honest, they are. If you don't do what I'm talking about, like, to be real with you, if you don't do what I'm talking about, yeah, you're kind of not doing it right. So what is value? Okay, so value, you know, when you're buying typical products, like let's say you buy a car, the value of the car is, are you getting what you paid for? You know, it's does the car work? Okay, does it get you from point A to point B? Does it look a way that you like? You know, does it have good gas mileage? You know what I mean? Do you have a good relationship with the brand? Things like this. Coaching, it's harder to describe value because it's an intangible, isn't it? So it's not necessarily like a thing that you receive. So this is actually why people have a hard time really seeing the value of coaching, is it doesn't feel real. You're just getting somebody's opinion on something. And so, you know, that is one type of coaching. And it's just getting somebody's opinion. They just ramble for hours and you just listen. You try to get something from it. And that's no good. You know, what real value is. So value equals what? Well, value is the speed and the minimization of effort and risk that it's going to require on the part of the buyer to go from their current situation, their current state, to their desired state. That is value, okay? And so creating value for a customer and making it actually worth them having paid you $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000, $500,000, whatever it is that you do. You do these big corporate contracts, you do $1 million consulting contracts, doesn't matter. Value is the speed at which you can get them from their current situation to their desired situation, the amount of effort you reduce them having to extend to reach that desired situation, and the alleviation of risk. You know, let's just say, for example, you are a real estate investing coach, okay? You could, let's say you've done a couple $1 million in deals yourself. Dude, you get somebody who's brand new to real estate, you can alleviate so much risk for them. So any one of these, you know, time, effort, or risk, that's really why people buy coaching. Psychologically, from a psychological perspective, what's going on in somebody's brain, drawing a little brain here, when they buy a coaching program? What they're doing is saying, I want to get to this place, but I don't want to risk I don't want to take on the risk, and I don't want to take the time to do it myself. If somebody's added value to me and I have positive reciprocity with them, if I believe in their way of doing things, then the logical conclusion is, well, I should probably buy this because it's going to help me not have any risk, It's going to be way less effort, and I'm going to spend less time doing it. Okay? And so this is how you create value. Okay? So that is what value is essentially, it's the collapsing of time, it's the alleviation of energy and effort, and it's the alleviation of risk. Okay? And so, for example, one of my, oh my gosh, there's so many clients I could talk about. I'll talk about a recent one. His name is Alex. I've brought him up in a lot of my videos recently, just because I'm just in the habit of it, but I have so many clients. So I took Alex's business from $20,000 a month to $100,000 a month in 2 months, okay? And he helps software engineers get jobs. By the way, every single coaching and consulting niche is the exact same thing over and over again. So this is what people don't seem to understand. They're like, well, will your system work for me, Trey? I'm a real estate coach. Like, yes, it will. Will it work for me? I'm a marriage coach. Yes, it will. Because this is all fundamental first principle basics, okay? But anyway, he, from 20 grand to 100 grand, and a big part of the reason why was he wasn't doing belief ladder stuff. So in his marketing, he didn't have a new, better way necessarily. He just said, oh, I'm gonna show you how to nail your resume and how to do good interviews and stuff like that. That's not a new way. Everybody kind of intuitively knows that that's what you gotta do. So he's not coming to the table with anything new to them. And then he wasn't necessarily adding value around the new way either. So not only did he lack the new way, but he wasn't adding value around it. He was getting people in pain and desire. He was getting software engineers who wanted to get jobs. He had that part down. Wasn't getting new way, wasn't adding value around it, okay? But then once they get on the call with him, because he's added value, they have reciprocity, they show up to the call. They don't ghost the call because they're actually genuinely interested in this thing. And then once he's on the call, he gets to know them a bit, understands their situation, and then just simply asks them what I call the golden question, which is, okay, what's stopping you from going from where you are now? So you repeat back to them, okay, so what's stopping you from going from, making 60, 70 grand a year as a software engineer to, landing a multi-six-figure year job on your own without my program or even just a program like mine that could help that? Like, what exactly is stopping you? And what's amazing about that question is if they truly have trust in your organization and they really like you, then they'll literally tell you what's stopping them. And then at that point, you can just be like, look, I'm gonna show you how my program will eliminate that time, eliminate that effort, eliminate that risk, and get you to that desired situation. You don't have to use guarantees. You can actually say, hey, I guarantee nothing. I guarantee zilch. I have 0 guarantees. It's all on you. But people will still want to do it because they believe in you and they believe in your way. Okay? And so value is the collapsing of current situation to desired situation with a new, better, faster way through your program. That's value. Okay? And what the problem is that people get so stuck in this guru mentality. They get stuck in this hype mentality. And they don't go back to the fundamental first principle basics of business, which is when somebody buys a product, they want to feel like the money that they spent, they'd spend it again. Okay? And to the degree that you can collapse energy, time, and risk for your client, that's the degree that you're going to add value for them and the degree to which they're going to be willing to do it again. Okay. So that's belief ladder, and that's what is value. Now let's talk about this concept of how to scale out a program, how to move from one-on-one to group and group to course. Okay, so I believe that the best thing that you can do is actually don't build a course first. Don't build a group Zoom program first. Sign a bunch of one-on-one clients first. The reason why is because this is going to, and this might feel like some of you are like, yeah, dude, duh. But the rest of you are like, oh, wait, I could sell a $999 course, or I could get $5,000 one-on-one clients. It's actually super easy to sell if people believe in you and they believe in your way or your mechanism. And moreover, you actually get your clients better results. And as you work with your one-on-one clients, you are going to start to, your brain is designed as a pattern recognition machine. And so as you interact with these one-on-one clients, over time, you're going to start to synthesize patterns of what works, okay? You're gonna be working with the client, okay, and without even realizing it, they're getting results, but you're getting better too. Your frameworks, your systems, your strategies, the way that you handle their problems is going to get better and better. Just like in sales, how if you run a pitch over and over again, you get better at the pitch. It's the same thing one-on-one. And then if you get really good at one-on-one sales, selling your thing, then eventually you know every thought that your prospect is having, and you can scale that into like a webinar where you don't have to be present and you can just, you know, sell it over a video. Which, by the way, everybody who's like, oh, I don't do sales calls, this is what they actually do, is they've taken a ton of sales calls. They're like, oh, I make 100 grand a month with those sales calls. It's like, okay, dude, you had to take 3,000 sales calls though before you were good enough to sell it over a video. So just saying. But anyway, it's the same thing with your course, okay? So the more you deliver it one-on-one, the better your ideas get, because they're being like, it's almost like water over rock. It's smoothing it out, okay? And it's getting better and better. And then once you've had, you know, 5, 10, 20 one-on-one clients and you've got a good success rate with that group, that's when you kind of introduce a group setting. And you just use some of your one-on-one call recordings as some material, and you do that group. And then you start to build a bit of a course to supplement the group so that you don't have too many like laggards, you know, people who are like kind of behind the core material and are kind of like falling behind so they don't get the most out of the group. And you build that course to supplement the group calls, and then eventually you end up with a pure course. And the reason why is because this is just built off of a super simple principle, you know, in physics, which is like just friction. Over time, you rub two things together, it smoothens out. You know, this is how you sharpen a blade. You know, you rub it against a whetstone. You know, this is how you know, you smooth things out. You know, you wax them down, you smooth them out with friction over and over again. And so every new season of my business, when I move into a new season, I start teaching a new thing or a new way of approaching things. I start off with a bunch of one-on-one clients, okay, and then I'm like, okay, this is a real. This is no longer just like kind of a bunch of ideas in my head. It's now like a process. It's like a framework. That's kind of when I move into group, okay. And then the group starts to succeed. That's when I like kind of build a course around it, because now I have so many instances of my ideas being tested against people's pre-existing problems and beliefs and stuff, okay? And then the course ends up being incredibly valuable because it's built off of many interactions. And this is kind of this eat complexity concept. You know, by signing a bunch of one-on-one clients, you end up, just real quick, you end up getting better at solving the complexity that's preventing them from reaching their desired state or the place that they'd like to get, right? And so don't go right for a course. This is the guru mindset. Just building a course out the gate, you know. Sign one-on-one clients. Start with a bunch of one-on-one clients and then go to group and then build a course, okay? Because at that point, you're gonna have what I call, let me grab a pen for this, a customer success timeline, a CST. This is a series of belief breakthroughs, action items, exercises, systems, frameworks, to-do lists, whatever, that take your prospect from current situation to desired situation like clockwork, okay, like a conveyor belt. A lot of people, they have this mindset when it comes to delivery of just conversation back and forth, kind of, you know, talking up and just kind of, that's how you get paid hourly, okay? And that, it works. But if you want to drive results for people, you have to think in systems, and you have to build a timeline of actions like a conveyor belt, almost like you're a factory, okay? You just one at a time. So factories, by the way, they use this model. An inventor or a designer makes a thing, and that thing is really good. But they have to go through iterations. They go through V1, V2, V3, all the way up to like V8, V9. You know, at version 9, they finally nailed their design. And that's when the manufacturer comes in and says, hey, we can actually build many of these. You can make tons of these. This is, you know, the Industrial Revolution in you know, Western society. Like, this is what it was built on, was individual inventions then being processed and turned into, you know, manufacturable, like, you know, things. But well, again, a lot of people have this mindset of just like, either just build a course, quote, passive income, which is not passive. If you have a bad course, it is not passive. And you will probably have a bad course if you don't start with one-on-one, because you don't really know how to solve your prospects' problems. It's not passive, okay? You're gonna have to do a bunch of refunds, a bunch of customer support. It's like having one-on-one clients at a page of $500, okay? So go through this process, okay, if you really wanna make a lot of money. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on then. So Got only 2 more things to cover. And I hope that this has been a valuable, helpful video. Again, value meaning helping you get where you want to get with your business. That's my whole goal with this channel. Okay, so let's talk about this concept of a reciprocity bank account, right? So a reciprocity bank account, you could imagine, it's really the best investment you could make. So if I want to make sales, okay, in the belief ladder system, thinking about taking a stranger and ethically convincing them of my way without making any big claims or anything, and then getting them to buy. The most important element is adding value at this stage. Once they believe in my way of doing things, adding value around it, saying, look, whether you pay me any money or not, here's what you're going to need to do to go make it work. But what's beautiful about adding value from a heart posture of just genuinely wanting to help people is people come to their own conclusion that they probably can't do this themselves. That's the secret. That's the big secret, is if you just set aside your need to get a sale right now, and you simply add value for the sake of it, and you just love what you do, and you help people. People come to the conclusion that they need your help on their own. You don't have to convince them of anything. So value, again, is content, free content, that does what we talked about up here. Collapses current and desired as best as you can for free. There's only so much you can do for free. You know, it's one thing to be watching a YouTube video of mine. It's another thing if we've been on a Zoom call, I've listened to you for 15 minutes about how everything's going, and then I've made pointed suggestions based on my experience and my data and my hard-learned lessons and everything that speed you up and give you exactly what you need specifically, right? People know that. People intuitively understand that. So you have to have this like give away the farm mindset, okay? We actually, what we do is we give our prospects the first module of our program, which is probably the best module. And it shows how to go out and sign clients, how the math behind succeeding, exactly how we go about the process of serving them, all this stuff, all this really necessary, helpful stuff, so by the time that they're on a call, we've increased our reciprocity bank account, okay? And then we can make withdrawals from a reciprocity bank account by making offers. And an offer is simply, hey, like, you could probably do this yourself, but let's just speed it up. Like, we should just get you in the program. Do you have the money to do it? It's because once they're on the call, they believe in us, they believe in our way of doing things, and they get a sense that we just want to help them. Then their sales resistance drops completely. I don't know if you've ever had somebody who hops onto a sales call with you and is like, hey man, I'm not buying anything today. I just want to let you know, I've just got a couple questions for it. Like, that guy or that girl has received no value from you and doesn't believe in your way of doing things and doesn't have any reciprocity with you, okay? And so, yeah, I'm at a stage now where in this business, which is basically just me making content and helping people grow their coaching business, you know, I enroll probably, of the people that I make an offer to, I enroll like 90% of them. I don't make an offer to everybody because I don't think that I can help everybody. When I say, hey, you're a good fit, let's do it, 90% are good to go. You know, I just signed up a client over text. And maybe I'll put the screenshots here. Literally, one-on-one client, okay, and I gave him a discount on my yearly because he'd worked with me in the past before. And he's in a new niche that I really know I could get to 100 grand a month because I've actually done it in the past. One of my offers was in this niche, okay? And so I said, let's just do it. I sent a text and said, okay, let me think about it. If I have any questions, I'll let you know. And then he texts back, I have no questions. I'm ready to go. Where do I pay? And then it was $20,000 right there. It's actually $20,500 because you know, I sent it over PayPal, and PayPal takes a huge chunk. So I was like, hey dude, you can either wire it and we get started and we have to wait till Monday because it was Saturday when he decided to sign up, or we can just start now and I can send you a bunch of stuff. He's like, let's just start now. So I added $500 on top because PayPal takes a huge fee. But the reason why was because he believes in my way. I've added value in the past, okay? He already has reciprocity with me. There's already positive reciprocity. You know, you can't cash out on a stock that hasn't increased, right? Simple. If your stock has, if you're invested into a stock and the stock is either idle and hasn't gone up or has gone down, if you cash out, you lose. But if the stock has gone up, then you can cash out and there's profit there for you. So just like a reciprocity bank account, you can imagine like a stock portfolio or like a crypto portfolio, real estate portfolio, anything. As it goes up, you can cash out. But what people try and do is, instead of investing into their stock portfolio, investing into real estate, investing into crypto, investing into their business, investing into themselves, they're just trying to cash out all the freaking time. You know, they're trying to cash out constantly. And when you're always trying to cash out, man, you got no assets to pull from. You're all liquid, okay? And the wealthiest people, they own things that drip them a steady drip, okay? My content will drip me a steady, healthy couple $1 million a year, okay? My other business will drip me a steady, consistent $20,000 to $50,000 a week in sales, maybe more. I'd like to get that business to $500,000 a month, and the only reason it hasn't is just because, you know, I'm just taking my time. I'm not trying to rush that, you know, but I know people who would have the student results we have the economics we have, and would just rush that. But I don't know. I'm being very intentional with who's on the team and everything. And so I want you to understand, when you make an investment into your reciprocity bank account, that is future money. And when you can delay gratification, then you can build up wealth for the future. You know, there's all kinds of scripture verses and biblical wisdom about this as well. You know, because I'm a Christian, as I've already said in the video, and I look to scripture to get my main source of wisdom. And gosh, it just speaks so much to this concept. It's ridiculous, and people have just totally lost this. They've totally lost this idea that you don't do guarantees. Okay, you build reciprocity. You don't do hard contracts. You build reciprocity. The reciprocity that you have with your market of non-buyers is your brand. That is your brand. In this industry, in the coaching industry, in the info industry, that's your brand, okay? So we'll move on to the last piece here that we have, which is eat complexity. And this is a relatively simple concept, but I'm gonna hit it anyway, okay? Eat complexity. To the degree that you can proactively pre-solve the problems of your client, to the degree that you can do that, is the degree that you will build positive client relationships, clients that stick around and get results, okay? This is value, okay? You know, I'll reference my client Alex again, who helps people get software jobs, okay? He's eaten the complexity so much. So some of it's, and this is how I helped him build the software. So he actually came to me, started his business with me, got it to 20 grand a month, stayed there for a couple years, reinvested back into my high tier, my one-on-one, and now he's doing 100 grand a month. And so with him, okay, the way that I helped him structure his program was I gave him this principle of eat complexity. I was like, well, what things does a software engineer need to go and do themselves that you could speed up for them or help them do? And so he actually created a platform where people can have pre-rendered software problems that they can then solve and then add to their resume. So they can actually, in his program, solve software problems, okay? And that's just an example of eating complexity. You know what I mean? And you can eat complexity in a million different ways. Like you right now, the thing that you help people do, just think, what are the main 1 to 5 things that are preventing them from getting that result? How can I build an environment that alleviates the effort or the energy that they would have to extend to reach that outcome themselves? How can I pre-eat that complexity? You know, if you help people, let's say learn Facebook ads, okay? If you've never run a Facebook ad before, then you don't understand this, but if you have, you know that like the UI in there is ridiculous. You know, it took me a long time to get used to it. Now I've spent well over $1 million on ads for my business. Well over $1 million, probably $1.5 million, potentially even. Eating complexity would look like explaining what each of these buttons does, how they work, and the overarching philosophy that makes advertising work, and showing them, you know, how to launch a campaign and walking through the whole thing. You know, that's eating complexity. Okay, because, you know, Jordan Peterson talks about like making order out of chaos. This is kind of that, you know? So your job is to take the chaotic nature of progress and turn it into order. So by the time that somebody's inside of a product or program, it's clearly ordered, it's clearly fashioned. And you want to be obsessed with this. You want to be obsessed with eating the complexity of your prospects' problems. The reason why I've helped make millionaires, okay, with their coaching businesses. And I'm talking liquid millionaires. Not just like they make $1 million a year. I'm talking they have over $1 million liquid in their bank account, is because I myself have 8 the complexity of building a ethical, high-value, sustainable, scalable online consulting or coaching business. And so I'll end the video here. If you've watched this whole video and you're serious about building a $20, $50, $100, maybe even $500,000 a month coaching business that lasts a long time, visit the link in the description, book in a consult with me. Don't do this thing where it's like, oh, I know you only work with people at this level, it's not for me yet, or don't do this thing where you're like, oh, I don't know, I'm not really quite ready. Like, dude, if you've watched this whole video, the reality is you're serious about growing your business, and I'm not looking for curious people, I'm looking for serious people. Curious people want information, serious people want transformation. Okay, I love what I do. I've helped tons of people, and if you have a coaching offer, you want to start a coaching offer, and you want to build real wealth with it, just speak with me. It'll actually be me, okay? This channel is small enough right now where I don't need a big team. At one point I had a big team, but I was like, meh. If I just take the amount of energy that I spend on leading a team, and I just put that into reciprocity, bank account, adding value, working with my clients, I'll make more money, get better results, have more fun, and be able to actually build real relationships with people, and that's what I do now. So it's literally me. Okay, it's not gonna be a sales team. And hopefully you understand that I don't make hard offers. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm gonna tell you, hey, I think I can help you. And if I can help you, then we'll just get started, you know? And the best case scenario by speaking with me is that this is a perfect match. We get started, and within 3 to 6 months, we've exploded your business. Because it really doesn't take that long, okay? Because again, I've eaten the complexity. But the best case scenario by not booking a call is that, you know, you stay right where you're at. Nothing changes, and you continue to make the amount of money that you're making, you continue to have the client impact that you're having, and you stay where you are. And if that's okay, then you can just keep watching my free content. But look, the worst case scenario by booking a call is that we just have a mutually beneficial exchange. I send you on your way, it's not a fit, okay? So I would encourage you to just take the time, find a spot that works, and speak with me, because you know, I'm actively looking for a handful more one-on-one clients in particular. If that payment's too big, we can split it up. It's no problem. But people are looking for somebody I know that can actually drive real results for them, and that is just based off of my experience. None of these are my ideas. You know, I'm not giving you my opinion here. This is stuff that I've been forced to learn in order to succeed. This isn't, you know, my opinion or anything. I'm not going to give you my opinion. I'm going to give you things that work, okay? So thanks for watching my content. Hopefully you keep watching it and stick around for more, and I will see you in the next video, or maybe on a one-on-one Zoom consult here soon. See ya.